What's the first thing you think of when I say the word clown? Is it a ghoulish painted-on smile, or maybe the floppy shoes and the garish red wig, or maybe squirty flowers and balloon animals, or horror movies and Halloween costumes, or maybe you're thinking of a certain fast food restaurant? Well, maybe you don't think of clowns this way, but a lot of people do. We seem to have a kind of love-hate relationship with clowns. We even use the word to talk about politicians that we don't trust, right? So it really seems as though being a clown is not something to be proud of. On the other hand, there are parts of the world where clowns are respected and admired. For example, in Eastern Europe and South America, a lot of clowns are treated as gods. In France, for example, clown is associated with the high art of mime and people like Marcel Marceau. In the UK and the US, some clowns like Charlie Chaplin and more recently Rowan Atkinson have risen to become household names. And of course, these days it's pretty common to see clowns in hospitals and care homes looking after the sick and elderly. So why do we have this love-hate relationship with clowns? Well, as usual, it has a lot to do with our ignorance, our lack of understanding about the true meaning and essence of clown. And this has led to a lot of confusion. In this video, I'd like to set the record straight about the true meaning and essence of clown. Hi, my name is Barnaby, and I'm the founder of Clown Spirit, where we use the power of clowning to bring joy, lightness, and connection to your life and the lives of everybody around you. If you're new to the Clown Spirit family, welcome. Our mission is to unleash as many clowns as possible into the world. So why not help us achieve our mission by subscribing to this YouTube channel and sharing and liking this video. If you go to clown-spirit.com or the Way of the Clown Facebook group, there's tons of free resources to help get you well on your way on your clown journey. So, to really understand what clowning is all about, we're going to have to go beneath the makeup, beneath the crazy costume, and even, yes, under the nose. For millennia, clowns have been roaming the planet, bringing their very particular perspective on things to cultures all over the world. The native people of North America have some of the most potent clown traditions that we know of today. For example, the Kwakiutl people of the west coast of Canada have a sacred clown known as the Nunlamala. The Lakota Sioux people have a clown called the Heyoka. The Zuni Pueblo have the Koyemshi clown, sometimes known as the Mudhead. And the Hopi people have the Kushari and the Kachinas. In all these communities, clowns are considered to have a special knowledge and to be crucial to the health and well-being of their community. In fact, in many of these cultures, they are actually referred to as sacred clowns, and they're thought of as having shamanic healing powers. So how do they actually bring healing? Well, we don't have to believe in magic to see how this might be possible. They use their comic skills to bring relief from suffering. They bring balance to society by challenging authority and questioning the rules. As I'll show, the real healing brought by clowns comes from us being able to accept and celebrate the whole of ourselves. And this is a power that doesn't require years of training because we all have access to it. So I'd like to take each of these elements, the comic relief, the challenging authority, and learning to accept ourselves, and just go a little bit deeper to explain what I really mean by each of those things. Life can be hard. We get anxious, we get stressed, we worry about things all the time, right? Even in relatively safe and affluent parts of the world. And in order to try and relieve some of this stress, we get addicted to all kinds of escapist activities, right? TV, social media, work, drinking, the list goes on. These are things that are supposed to help us have fun, but actually they make things worse because we get dependent on them and because they're not really allowing us to confront the darkness, the thing that's actually troubling us in the first place. They're just means of avoidance, and they have this effect of disconnecting us from our loved ones, from our world, and from ourselves. So what do clowns have to do with all these problems? Well, ironically, clowning also brings a kind of relief from suffering. But it's a different kind of relief than avoidance. Clowns make us laugh, but it's a very specific kind of laughter. Comedians make us laugh, right? But they make us laugh by telling jokes. We laugh at the joke. Clowns, on the other hand, are the joke. We laugh at them. You know, we laugh at them because they're different, because they're silly, because they get things wrong and they're inappropriate. This is what the clown does. This is the great gift that the clown brings. They actually embody the joke themselves. And this is a crucial difference. Let me give you an example. The Koshari clown from the Hopi people, they huddle together on rooftops overlooking the Kachina dance, which is a very serious sacred ritual with the whole village all gathered round. And they huddle up there and watch, and then they decide they want to join in. So they half clamber, half fall down ladders, and then they try to join in. But of course they fall over, they do the dance backwards, they get in the way of the Kachinas, and the village finds this hilarious, right? Because they're getting it wrong. It's not that different from when a bumbling clown doctor comes into a child's room and starts to take the temperature or listen to the heartbeat of the parents instead of the child. The child finds this hilarious because it's so obviously wrong, right? It's inappropriate. And they can see, and everyone else can see that what's wrong, but the clown for some reason is in their own world and can't see this. In both these cases, we're laughing at failure. Failure is funny, partly because it's unexpected and surprising, but it goes deeper than that. There's actually something familiar about failure, right? We all recognize that feeling, either from our past experience or just our imaginations. And what the clown does is brings that out into the open and allows us to laugh at it in a way which lightens it, right? And brings relief. And we realize that, oh, we're not going to die from our fear of failure. So clowning is not a temporary release from suffering. It's a deeper relief that comes from connection with another human being. We realize we're not alone in our stupidity and our fear. This brings me to the second aspect of the clown's meaning. Clowns always have something serious to say underneath the crazy antics, right? But they use a backwards language to tell us this thing, which is often why clowns appear to be stupid. The Heyoka, who is the sacred clown of the Lakota Sioux, a little bit like the court jesters of medieval Europe, have permission to break rules. They have license to enact things that are forbidden. So for example, they can eat and drink things that are prohibited. They can ridicule respected members of society. They can openly criticize a chief for making a bad decision. In this way, they make us question assumptions that are really deeply rooted in our society. Something really similar can be seen in the clandestine insurgent rebel clown army, otherwise known as Circa, a group of activists who use what they call rebel clowning as a form of political activism. One of their goals is to use the carnival spirit and the absurdity of clown to undermine authority and draw attention to injustice. In 2007, the clandestine insurgent rebel clown army went to Rostock as part of the G8 summit to join the protesters. And they carried water pistols and they stood alongside the riot police, actually pretending to help them and face the protesters and kind of defending the police from the protesters. So they were turning everything on its head, as clowns love to do. And in so doing, they really kind of threw the whole thing into confusion, and the police didn't know what to do with this. As with the Heyoka making fun of an authoritarian chief, Circa had something very important to say, and they put their bodies on the line in order to do that, even to the point of being arrested. But imagine the transformative potential of this. A photograph in the newspaper of clowns being bundled into a police van. This can transform people's awareness of the way they think about the G8 summit or about the police. Clowns possess great power because of the backwards language they speak, because they put their bodies on the line, and because they make us laugh. They're granted permission to say the unsayable, to speak truth to power, and to correct many imbalances that have crept into society. But just as much as clowning is about healing and critiquing the other, it's even more so about learning to accept and laugh at oneself. This is the true heart of clown. As clowns, we must learn to accept and come face to face with those aspects of ourselves that we'd really much rather not acknowledge or reveal. That's why in many cultures you have to go through some kind of initiation or rite of passage to become a clown. For example, one of the signs that you're a heyoka is that you have a dream of something shameful happening to you. And you have to go out in front of the whole community and act out this shameful thing. By doing this, you have a power over shame. You defeat shame and you become a heyoka. There is a realization here that shame doesn't kill us. But in order to be the one who does this, the clown must be dealing with their own shame and must be able to laugh at their own stupidity. Now we can see this in many Western examples of clowning. Think about that episode of Mr. Bean, New Year's Eve, right? Where only two friends show up for the New Year's Eve party and then they pretend it's midnight in order to be able to leave and go to the party on the other side of the corridor. Or think of the famous American comedian George Carl getting all tangled up in the microphone cord and hitting himself on the chin and on the nose with the microphone stand. Or Charlie Chaplin getting swallowed by the machine in the factory because he can't work fast enough. These are all examples of the clown acting out the thing that we are most afraid of: being humiliated, being lonely, failing. These are our deepest fears, things that are like these touchstones of shame and guilt and fear for us. And the clown has no fear of them. They just act them out in front of everybody. And so we fall in love with the clown. These clowns are not just acting out silly situations to make us laugh. They are reaching down deep into their own humanity, connecting with the thing that we fear the most: public humiliation, being unloved, being lonely, incapable. And we instantly fall in love with those clowns because we recognize the truth. So, what is the true meaning and essence of clown? The clown exists in mythology as well as in everyday life, in the shape of the trickster, full of mischief and tricks. He's the one who slips the net whenever we try to pin him down. He's so sly, in fact, that he appears to be stupid. The trick of the clown is that he or she doesn't really mean anything at all. It's more of an attitude or a state of being than something concrete you can pin down. In fact, to be a clown, it doesn't really matter what you look like. It's not about the appearance. It's about your state of being. It's a form of consciousness, a way of thinking about the world. Clowns transform reality. They take dark, difficult things and turn them into sources of light and pleasure and joy for everybody to share. They heal by bringing delight, turning reality upside down and reminding us who we really are. We all have a piece of this potential in us, which is why I believe we can all be clowns. This is the work of Clown Spirit, to unlock and unleash the clown power that you have inside you. Because let's face it, you're already great at being stupid. You're already ridiculous. You don't need any practice at that. What you need is the courage and confidence to share that beautiful ridiculousness with the world. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to the Clown Spirit channel, like and share this video. And if you're ready to face your demons and unleash the brutal honesty of your clown, why not have a look at our flagship program, The Clown Connection, which will take you from 0 to clown in just 8 weeks. But whatever happens, as long as you're willing to laugh at the beauty of your own ridiculousness, then you're already halfway there. You're already on the way to becoming a true clown.